Hi everyone, I'm Haley from the Norman Mailer Library, and I'm so excited to share a story time that I created with y'all today called Caring for Your Community. You can see more programs like this one online at our website, nolalibrary.org. Before we get started, let's spend some time talking about what the word community means. It's always a good idea when we see words that we don't know to talk about and ask questions so we can find out what they mean. The more words that we know, that's all of our vocabulary. And the bigger our vocabulary, the easier it'll be when we get ready to learn to read, because the words that we encounter we'll already know. So, community to me means all of the things that make up where we live. So the neighbors who live next door to us, the people in the grocery store, or our friends at school, those are all part of our community. Our community can even be the things that make up the natural world around us, like the trees and birds and animals in our backyard. So it's really important that we take care of our communities and we're good stewards of it, meaning we take good care of our community and all the things that make it up, because we want to make sure that it's around for the people who come after us. So today we're going to talk about some couple different ways we can take care of our community, and we'll sing some songs and read some books. So let's get started with a hello song, and we'll practice some different ways we can say hello without touching each other. What is one way that we often say hello? With a wave. Very good. So let's sing our song with a wave first. And it's pretty easy, so you'll be able to go in and catch on right along with me. So we'll go, we wave hello like this. We wave hello like this. With all our friends at story time, we wave hello like this. And how about let's try clapping hello. So we'll go, we clap hello like this. We clap hello like this. With all our friends at story time, we clap hello like this. And can we think of one more thing to do? Wiggle. I love wiggling before a story because it gets out all my energy. So let's wiggle hello. So we'll go, we wiggle hello like this. We wiggle hello like this. With all our friends at story time, we wiggle hello like this. Good job, everybody. Let's get started with our first story, which is called We Are Water Protectors. And I want to thank Roaring Brook Press, who's the publisher of this book, that means they made all the copies, for letting us read this story today. Some other things on the cover of this book is the author. It says written by Carole Lindstrom. So that means she came up with all the words inside. One of the reasons I chose this book is because Carole Lindstrom is a member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Ojibwe, which means that she and her ancestors are indigenous to this land, which means that they're the first people who lived here, and that as such they have a lot to share with us about how to take care of our community and our natural environment. Over here we also see that it's illustrated by Michaela Gold. Does anyone know what the word illustrated means? Very good, it means she drew all of the pictures. So let's get started. Here we see the title again, We Are Water Protectors. And one more time. Water is the first medicine, Nokomis told me. And see, I've already read this book before, so I know what Nokomis means, but if you don't, what do you think it means? Let's look at the picture. She kind of looks like a grandma, right? Nokomis means grandma. So grandma is one of those words that, depending on where you live or where you're from, you could have a lot of different ways to say it. We come from water. It nourished us inside our mother's body, as it nourishes us here on Mother Earth. Water is sacred, she said. All right, water makes up a lot of our bodies. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. The river's rhythm runs through my veins and runs through my people's veins. My people talk of a black snake that will destroy the land. And here in this corner, we can see this pipe that's taking up space in this community, right? That's all mountains and birds and leaves and trees. Spoil the water, poison plants and animals, wreck everything in its path. And that's something we don't want, because we all need clean and healthy water to drink. When my people first spoke of the black snake, they foretold that it wouldn't come for many, many years. And this is one of my favorite pages in the book because it shows Nokomis over here telling a story, right? An amazing thing about stories is that they can transport us. So we see the images that she's drawing up in their heads just through the power of her words. Now the black snake is here. Its venom burns the land, courses through the water, making it unfit to drink. There's an angry snake there, right? And what kind of sound do you think that angry snake makes? Very good, right? It goes, hiss. Take courage. I must keep the black snake away. From my village's water, I must rally my people together. So that's another reason why I love this book, because it shows how much little kids can do, right? To draw together their community. To stand for the water, to stand for the land, to stand as one against the black snake. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. It will not be easy. We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, the winged ones and the crawling ones. Do you see anyone who has wings on this page? Very good, right? The bird and this moth or butterfly. The four-legged and the two-legged. The plants, trees, rivers, and lakes. The earth, where we are all related. Tears like waterfalls stream down, tracks down my face, tracks down my people's faces. Water has its own spirit, Nokomis told me. Water is alive. Water remembers our ancestors who came before us, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. We are stewards of the earth. Our spirits have not been broken. Remember, because they're stewards of the earth, that means they know how to take care of it, and they take good care of it. We are water protectors. We stand. The black snake is in for the fight of its life. And then this last page, we see all the people who have come together to take care of their community and protect it. That is the end of the first book we're going to read today at Storytime, everyone. Good job listening. So I talked about some things that I loved about that book, and when we talk about the things that we love about reading in books, we help build strong relationships and connections to reading. So talk about some things that you like in your next book that you read, and ask your parents to do that too. So let's get ready, and we're gonna sing a song next, and I love this song because it has some rhymes in it. So see if you can hear and help me figure out what rhyme comes next. Have this hat and we'll go, it's so much fun to share, it's so much fun to care, I have a hat I'll share with. Then can you think of an animal that rhymes with hat? Does whale rhyme with hat? No, right? What about cat? Very good. So let's find something for our whale, right? So we'll go, it's so much fun to share. It's so much fun to care. I have a pail I'll share with whale. It's so much fun to share. It's so much fun to share. It's so much fun to care. I have a box I'll share with fox. It's so much fun to care. It's so much fun to care. It's so much fun to share. I have a chair, which is missing a leg, I'll share with bear. It's so much fun to share. It's so much fun to share. It's so much fun to care. I have a log I'll share with ribbits. Frog. It's so much fun to share. It's so much fun to share. It's so much fun to care. I have a boat I'll share with goat. It's so much fun to share. Good job, everyone. Let's hear those rhyme pairs again before we go on to our next story. So we have our boat and our goat, and our whale and pail, and hat and cat, and fox and box, and bear and chair, and log and frog. And that song's so great because one of the best ways we can take care of our community is by sharing with people and things who have less than us. That's a great way to show that we care. So our very last thing we're going to do today is going to be a story that we're going to tell. And it takes place on a farm, which is a community, right? It has lots of different animals on it. So let's think if we can name some animals who live on the farm. Very good. It just so happens that a little red hen is the main character in our story. So she's the protagonist and everything's going to happen around her. But she also had some other friends who lived at the farm and were part of her community. There was a brown dog. What sound does he make? Very good. He goes woof, woof. And so we see the little brown dog in the store, we'll hold up our little begging paws like this and we'll go woof, woof. And then we have our little orange cat. What sound did they make? Very good. So when we see our little orange cat, we're going to put up our cat claws and go meow, because that's how they're going to talk. And last but not least, we have our white duck. What sound do you think she's going to make? Very good. You know, ducks quack and waddle. So when we see that duck, we're going to waddle with our shoulders and go quack, quack, quack. Perfect. So once upon a time, on a farm not far from here, there lived a little red hen. And she was a very hard worker, and one day she went out to look for food for her hens, but instead she found some little seeds. And she didn't know what they were, but she asked her neighbor, and the brown dog barked in response, "Those are wheat seeds. They have to be planted before they could be eaten." So the little red hen set out to plant the seeds. But it was going to be a large task, so she wanted to see if any of her neighbors would help her. So she went back to the brown dog and asked, "Will anyone help me plant these seeds?" And the little dog barked back, "Not I." And the little orange cat meowed, "Not I." And the white duck clucked, "Not I." So the little red hen sat out by herself and plowed the field and planted the wheat seeds all on her own. And then, as they started to grow, she realized they had to be cut down before she could eat them. So she went back to her neighbors to ask for help. And she went to her neighbor, the little brown dog, first. What do you think he said? "Not I," he barked. And the little orange cat, "Not I," she meowed. And the white duck clucked, "Not I." And so the little red hen got out her axe and set out to chop down all the wheat herself. She bundled it up and got it all ready. But then she realized that that the wheat needed to be ground into flour before it could be eaten. So she had to take it to the miller. So she went to her neighbors to see if they could help. She approached the brown dog first. "Who can help me take this wheat to the miller?" she said. "Not I," barked the dog. "Not I," meowed the cat. "Not I," clucked the duck. So the little red hen gathered it all together and dragged it to the miller herself, where she came back with a bag of flour. But looking at the bag of flour, she realized this flour has to be baked into bread before it can be eaten. "I wonder if anyone will help me." So she went back to her neighbors to see if anyone would help. She approached the brown dog first. And what did he say? "Not I," barked the dog. "Not I," meowed the cat. "Not I," clucked the duck. So the little red hen gathered all the ingredients herself and sat down to stir and mix and knead all the ingredients together to get ready to bake in her oven. Now, as the bread was baking in the oven, the smells of it filled the kitchen and filled the farm, so everyone could smell it. And her neighbors knew she was baking. So when she took out the bread, delicious fresh baked bread from her oven, she went around to see if anyone wanted to eat it. And there were her 3 neighbors all lined up. ready to eat. Would anyone like a piece of bread? She asked. Surely I, barked the dog. Surely I, meowed the cat. Surely I, quacked the duck. And so, because the little red hen valued her community, she gave them all a piece of bread. The little dog first replied, "This bread is fantastic," he barked. "This bread is amazing," meowed the cat. "This bread is delicious," quacked the duck. And the little red hen smiled at them and said, "Imagine what we could all do if we worked together." And so, the next morning, when the little red hen woke up, she noticed the little brown dog, the little orange cat, and the little white duck all ready to help her for the next harvest. And that's the end of this story, everyone. Good job listening. The Little Red Hen is a common folklore that you can find told by many different authors. So check out our online catalog, where you can even find some e-versions on Hoopla. Now, before we get ready to go, let's sing a goodbye song and practice some of the ways that we said hello in the beginning by saying goodbye. Can anyone remember how we did it? That's right, we first waved. So we'll go, we wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. With all our friends at story time, we wave goodbye like this. And then what did we do next? We clapped. So we'll go, we clap goodbye like this. We clap goodbye like this. With all our friends at story time, we clap goodbye like this. And then what did we do last? I know, it was all the way in the beginning of story time before we did all those other things. We wiggled. So we'll go, we'll wiggle goodbye like this. We wiggle goodbye like this. With all our friends at story time, we wiggle goodbye like this. And thanks for coming, everyone. See you all soon.